Thanks for tuning in. We're coming to you live from Las Vegas at AWS reInvent. My name's Gabe Hollenby. I'm on the evangelism team here at AWS. And we've got a very exciting segment for you, especially if you're interested in networking, maybe you work in the enterprise. This is going to be the segment for you. I'm joined here by two very special guests today. I'll let them introduce themselves. Mohammed?
So, Mohammed Hassan, I'm a product manager in EC2 networking and VPC.
And I am Maritza Mills. I'm a senior product manager in Route53 DNS.
And you know me, I'm Nikki, technical evangelist at AWS. Probably been seeing me all day.
Thanks, Nikki. What is Route53 first to start with, and what is Route53 Resolver?
So Route53 is an authoritative DNS service. And for those of you who might not be familiar, authoritative DNS is the way that web browsers get the IP address, so that's the Internet Protocol address, which is usually some kind of a number that humans aren't used to being able to read from a name, for example, like Amazon.com. So what Route53 does is it allows our customers to host those names authoritatively on AWS.
So it's like an address book.
Yep.
Cool. And what is a Route53 Resolver?
So Route53 Resolver is a set of features that we built on top of the Amazon provided DNS server, which is available by default in all of Amazon Virtual Private Cloud. And what it does is it performs the recursive lookup to find those final answers to those names that we talked about. And what we have built is the ability to conditionally forward specific names to other DNS resolvers so that customers can get hybrid connectivity.
Okay,
Wow.
and do you want to talk through a little bit more about how this works in relation to a hybrid cloud model? We've got a slide here
Yes,
that we can show.
we have a diagram that we can walk through.
Okay.
So in this diagram, this is what most of the customers who are going to be using Resolver are going to need. So what we have in this example is you have a data center on the right-hand side.
Yep.
And what happens is that usually customers are using either managed VPN or AWS Direct Connect to merge their data center with their Amazon Virtual Private Cloud.
Right.
Sure.
What happens is that when customers go to perform DNS lookups across this connection, so let's say they need a workload that's in their data center to resolve a DNS name that's actually hosted in Route53, for example, in a private hosted zone, that DNS lookup is not able to occur. So what customers are normally doing is they are taking their DNS server that is hosted on premises,
Yes.
and they are saying, I know that my machine doesn't know how to find the answer to this, but I know which machine does. So they will directly say, this name can be resolved by this IP address, and it will forward to a DNS server that is in Amazon VPC.
So it just reroutes it,
Yes,
basically.
correct.
Okay, and do you want to mention that the DNS resolution that's always been there, provided by AWS in the EC2 instances, that .2?
Yes.
Do you want to just tell the viewers about that? What is that? And that's what we're calling now. It has a name now. That's the resolver.
Yes. So some customers might have thought of what we're calling Route53 Resolver now. Used to also be called by some customers the .2 resolver or Amazon provided DNS server if you're familiar with the documentation. And all that does is it actually performs the lookups. It's the intermediary between the Route53 authoritative answer and the maybe the client that's actually performing the lookup. And it's always had kind of a colloquial name. And since we built these features on top of that, we decided to just go ahead and name it Route53 Resolver.
And why is it called the .2 resolver?
So usually it's based on the private address of what the customer has in the VPC, and usually we add .2 to the end of that, or +2.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Cool.
that.
Okay. Some other questions. Do customers need an endpoint in every VPC if they're going to use this?
No, so they don't. So if we take a step back to what some customers were doing before, and I don't know if we can bring the diagram back up to kind of show. Because I wanted to talk a little bit about what customers were doing before. So before, when they couldn't get this connectivity, so before Resolver, they might actually put a DNS server of their own, so a custom DNS server in every single VPC. And so because of that, some customers might think that now that we have this endpoint that's available to them, that they might need to put one in every single VPC, but that is not the case. Customers should be able to just use a single endpoint. It's obviously going to depend on their topology, but they should be able to use a single endpoint as long as those VPCs are within the same region.
Got
Okay,
it.
and I think another thing that's important to differentiate here is the concept of inbound versus outbound connections as it
Correct.
relates to this DNS resolution.
Yes.
Can you explain that for the viewers?
Yes, so when we say inbound versus outbound resolution, it's just a matter of, is the DNS traffic coming into your VPC, typically from an on-premises location, or is it actually being forwarded back out to your on-premises data center? So when we say inbound, is it coming into the VPC? Outbound is it's leaving the VPC.
And going back to your on-prem data center.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. How is this charged? Do all queries to the Route53 Resolver get charged?
No. So if we go back to the original definition, Route53 Resolver is just us renaming the Amazon provided DNS server, which resolves many queries locally in the VPC by default for all customers. Many customers don't even have to think about it. We don't charge for those queries. We haven't before, and we don't plan to for now. But the queries that we do charge for are queries that specifically cross those endpoints. So if they're leaving the VPC to go back across AWS Direct Connect, or if they're coming in from AWS Direct Connect or Managed VPN, we do charge for those queries.
And just to confirm, Route53 Resolver is generally available?
Yes,
or
it's generally available.
Okay,
yeah.
Generally available.
Yeah.
Great, I was going to say, what regions is this in now?
I don't remember those regions off the top of my head. I think it's in 8 regions currently, but we plan to be in all commercial regions shortly after.
Great, I think that's the statement I wanted to make sure we got to. That
yes.
It should be in all of the regions soon.
Yes.
Cool. And how do customers get started using this?
So customers can get started just by visiting the Route53 console. Under the left-hand navigation, there'll be a section called Resolver, and they'll be able to follow a wizard from there.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Mirza and Mohammed, for coming onto the stream to talk awesome network enterprise stuff.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly with more content live from the SANS Expo here at AWS reInvent in Las Vegas. Thanks for watching.
See you guys soon.
Bye.